Texoma's Fox News at 9 in HD, weeknights with David Gonzalez. Now, your forecast first on Fox.
Good evening, Texoma. The clouds that we saw today, that's the beginning of some wet weather for Texoma, at least for the next couple of days. For the moment, it looks like it's an all-rain event because temperatures are going to stay above freezing. Big question is, how much could we see fall across Texoma starting tomorrow afternoon and finishing on Thursday morning? We'll have the forecast in a couple of minutes. We'll look at what might happen right after the Fox News, which starts right now with David.
You're watching Texoma's Fox News at 9 in high definition.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm David Gonzalez. The legislative session begins tomorrow in Austin when lawmakers from across the state are sworn in. Ann Arnold spoke with two local lawmakers about their priorities for the next 140 days and joins us now with more. Ann?
Moving in today, two freshman lawmakers from Texoma are preparing for their big day. James Frank of Wichita Falls and Drew Springer of Munster are getting ready for their first legislative session.
It's a unique feeling. One, it started to give me goosebumps.
It is pretty amazing, though, when you see your name up on the voting board.
It is official. Both Springer and Frank are listed on that voting board, along with 37 other incoming freshmen this 83rd legislative session. A big class of first-timers, but Springer says there is strength in numbers.
We want to make sure that the issues that almost all of us ran on are addressed, and if they're not addressed, that they're going to deal with a block of 30 to 40 of us that are going to say, you know, this is why we came to Austin. We didn't come to play the same game.
Frank adds they'll rely on their districts and veteran lawmakers in the 140 days ahead.
Certainly freshmen come in with enthusiasm and ideas and that kind of stuff, and there needs to be a balance between listening to those ideas because there are many good ideas and actually what can be executed and what can't be executed.
Both agree increasing efficiency in government operations is a high priority, and both support fewer state mandates to local governments.
Government doesn't know all the answers. Much better decisions are made at a local level.
If we waste money here, we're either taking money away from the taxpayer that we didn't need to take, or we're not funding a government program that needs to be funded.
Education is always a hot topic once a session starts, and Frank and Springer know there will be issues to tackle. On the rural front, Springer says he will support increased vocational training.
We don't train our kids for jobs that are in our communities. So they graduate school, have to move off to the big cities, and then they don't come back.
School vouchers to compensate parents for sending children to private schools are sure to come up again, but Frank sees little more chance that will pass than in previous sessions. But he does want to see more choice in schools.
Giving parents more of a choice, particularly in failing districts, is something that has a lot of support, and I think
Members of both the House of Representatives and the Senate will be sworn in tomorrow at noon. We'll bring you the highlights. From Austin, Ann Arnold, Texoma's Fox.
All right, thank you very much, Ann. A United Way program aimed at providing financial assistance to veterans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan has helped a record-breaking number of Texoma families this year. More than 40 families received assistance from the Triad program, which stands for Texas Resources for Iraq and Afghanistan Deployment. This year, the program is funded by the Dallas Foundation and the Bridwell Foundation. After over a year of service in Iraq, Army Sergeant Jeffrey Fisher says it was hard trying to readjust to his old life. He reached out to the Triad program, which got him back on his feet.
Basically, my income went down a lot, especially after they medically retired me. I went to probably about a third of what I was making.
If you're someone you know could benefit from this program, simply call 211 and they'll give you more information. A fire in Burkburnett late this morning destroys a home. The fire started around 11 and it took fire crews a little more than an hour to put it out. And as Lindsay Wapshaw reports, now the resident of the home is left to rebuild what he has lost.
Smoke poured out from this Burkburnett home at 1101 Prestige. The street filled with fire crews, including units from Wichita Falls. To fight a fire, the resident first thought was a false alarm.
I heard a couple of chirps and I disregarded it first, thinking that it was, just a mess up. But when I walked back there just to make sure, There was a pretty good blaze going in that closet.
A blaze which fire crews say burned at a rapid pace.
A lot of the houses, newer homes, have a heavy fire load. A lot of stuff on the inside is going to burn a lot hotter and a lot faster, so that's going to make the fire progress a lot quicker.
Quick enough that nothing inside could be saved.
I lost everything. I lost my college books and my furniture and oh gosh, I lost everything in there. It's going to take me a month or two to get back on my feet.
But at least Belle can still stand on those 2 feet with just minor injuries.
And it sends that arm and I'm still coughing up black stuff, so, and I just took 1 or 2 breaths of it.
And now Belle will begin the new year from scratch, having to build back up what was burned down. Lindsay Wapshall, Texoma's Fox.
The Red Cross is assisting Belle, and Burkburnett police is still investigating what started this blaze. A 22-year-old Texas Tech student remains jailed tonight on $3 million bond, charged with murdering his neighbor, 51-year-old Michelle Bradshaw Terry. Her body was found dead inside her burning apartment Friday night. Investigators say this isn't Austin Hastings' first run-in with the law. They say that before he went to Texas Tech, Hastings was a student at Texas A&M, where he was charged with DWI and assaulting a police officer. Police say Hastings had driven his pickup truck into an apartment building while allegedly under the influence of hallucinogenic mushrooms. Authorities in Lubbock say Hastings and Terry were neighbors and apparently Facebook friends, but so far they have not revealed a possible motive for the killings. Across the Red River in Oklahoma, 4 women are found dead in a South Tulsa apartment this afternoon. Tulsa police got a 911 call shortly after 12:30 regarding 4 deceased victims at the Fairmont Terrace apartments. Police say the victims were found in one apartment, all shot to death. A 4-year-old boy was also found inside the home, but he was not hurt. Police believe the victims may have been alive an hour before the 911 call came in. Their identities have not been released, but detectives say their ages range from 18 to 22. After having a checkered past, one man has risen to be the leader of a Texas church. The pastor hopes parishioners can look beyond his past and see him now for who he is now. Emily Lopez has the story.
Husband, father, the senior pastor at a Cleburne church, a convicted felon, and a registered sex offender.
The life that I lived was nothing but a juggle, you know, and it was heartache after heartache after heartache.
Before he found religion, he was married. The relationship, toxic.
Me and my ex-wife were in pornography, okay? We was into booze and the drugs and such like that. I was a dealer, okay, for LSD. I also was a dealer for methamphetamines.
By 1995, Gilliland and his ex had been together for 8 years. The relationship started to unravel and they separated. During that time, Gilliland says he was intimate with his ex-wife. She called it rape.
I thought I had consensual sex when I did that.
Police saw it differently. Gilliland went to the penitentiary for 4 years. Every year he has to re-register with the state as a sex offender. Fast forward to 2001, he married his current wife. They settled down in Cleburne and Gilliland befriended Pastor Carl Roy.
I love Brother Carl very much, and he kind of reminds me of my grandfather.
Gilliland stepped in to help him with his pastoral duties when Roy became sick. Sunday, Gilliland preached his first sermon as senior pastor, sharing bits and pieces about his past. Some decided not to attend, but others rallied around the pastor.
I don't really care to. That's in his past. He's paid his debt to society. He's asked God for forgiveness.
It's a past that Gilliland says he never hid from the church.
You're not trying to cope with your addiction. You know, what it is you got people in your life that's hurting just like you. And they're searching for the same thing.
Searching for love and acceptance. Emily Lopez, Fox 4 News.
An attack on a dog in Conroe, Texas is sparking outrage and anger that someone would shoot the animal and then dump it in a trash bag on a cold night. But Buck survived his ordeal thanks to some good Samaritans. Buck's name came from the buckshots that could have killed him. Someone found the dog in the bag tied to a post. He had buckshots stuck in his eyes, mouth, gums, neck, and shoulders. Buck also had hypothermia after spending at least 10 hours in the bag.
Was extremely anemic and very dehydrated, very lethargic, wouldn't move. He also was limping, but they've been able to stabilize him.
Buck may be blinded permanently. He also appears to have hearing loss and may have brain damage. If you would like to help with his medical costs, just log on to our website, texomashomepage.com. A Texoma teen is making progress in his quest to make it to the 2016 Olympics, but he needs your help to get there. A portion of the proceeds of your meal ticket tomorrow night at Texas Roadhouse will benefit Devin Sobey. He has recently been named the team captain for the USA Judo team. He leaves Friday to compete in Australia. Devin needs money to fund his trips so he can make it to the Olympic Games when they travel to Rio de Janeiro. Simply go to Texas Roadhouse tomorrow between 4 and 10 and just tell your server that you're there to support Devin. In turn, the restaurant will give some of their profits to Devin so he can get closer to his dream of going for the gold. Skip's full forecast is on the way, and later, Bank of America has to shell out billions of dollars to settle a loans dispute. Details are coming up. Plus, where you can catch hundreds of model trains right here in North Texas. Don't go away.
You're watching Texoma's Primetime News Leader with David Gonzalez. And weather with Chief Meteorologist Skip McBride. This is Texoma's Fox News at 9 in high definition. Closed captioning on Texoma's Fox is brought to you by Falls Home Health. Now, weather on Fox with Skip McBride.
All right, we've been looking, where is the rain? And we've been looking at it for what, two and a half years? Well, this isn't going to solve the problem, but it certainly isn't going to hurt us. First of all, we got a big ridge of high pressure out here to the northwest, bringing a system on shore there with rain and snow. Then this trough from the top of the ridge down here, there's our storm system, and it's already moving. It's now just east of Baja. The rain's already picking up in parts of New Mexico, and it looks like that's going to track right across us or pretty close to us. After it gets by us on Thursday, there's a chance that the Panhandle could pick up some snow. I don't think we're going to see that, but it could be the Panhandle. Now, tonight, because this isn't going to be here until tomorrow afternoon, probably at the earliest the clouds will be, but the rain won't. Winds are out of the southeast at about 7 to 6 miles an hour. The temperatures very mild compared to what they have been. Upper 30s to the low 40s all across Texoma. The wind chills in the 30s primarily, with the exception of Graham at 42 and Altus at 28. Everybody else is in the upper 30s to the mid 30s. 53 our high today, 25 the low this morning, 54-30 normal, 19 to 88, 83 in 2006. Here's another quick look at the ridge of high pressure. Comes up and over. You can see rain spreading into the Montana, Idaho, and all we have, nothing but high clouds moving in from the southwest. We're going to get a bit of a break. You can see a little bit of clearing back there, but then by tomorrow afternoon, that system starts moving in from the southwest and the rain chances start to pick up. Feels like 35, it's actually 41, humidity at 67%, southeast winds at 9, and pressure falling at 30.12. The high temperatures this afternoon were in the 50s all across Texoma, with Vernon being the hot spot at about 56 degrees. Temperatures region-wide, Oklahoma City at 36, Albuquerque at 38, El Paso at 43, Houston at 50, along with Austin and Dallas, heat islands. Otherwise, they'd be in the 40s. The wind chills in the 30s and the 40s, north and south of the river, with the exception, you notice the Panhandle, 29, feels like 29. That colder air is going to hesitate right there. That means that once this storm system right here pushes off to the north, that's going to bring that colder air in with a chance of snow. Now, the snow by Wednesday could be out in the mountains of Mexico and heading this direction. But here's a scenario. Surface low, bringing moisture up and over. The upper low bringing moisture around it, and the combination of all of this means that we've got a decent chance of some rain starting tomorrow afternoon. The best chance will be tomorrow night, going into Wednesday, throughout the day on Wednesday. Maybe not raining steadily throughout, but still rain Wednesday going into Wednesday night, tapering off on Thursday. We're going to go tonight with increasing clouds, 36 degrees by the morning hours with the winds on the light side. And then tomorrow we're going to go for a 50% chance of rain probably around dark, 20 to 30% from southwest building northeast as the day goes on, southeast winds. And for the 7-day, the rain chances stay with us. Tuesday night about a 70%. Wednesday 70%, 20% early Thursday, and then temperatures actually cool off again on Sunday and Monday. And believe it or not, if we get enough moisture, there's a chance of some more rain and maybe even a little bit of snow. But right now we'll keep it dry. We'll be right back.
Weather on Texoma's Fox is brought to you by Patterson Auto Group and Barron's Turf and Tractor. This business report on Texoma's Fox is brought to you by Union Square.
Apple users go crazy with the app downloads, while winning a bake-off could make you a millionaire. Neil Cavuto has these headlines and more in tonight's Fox Means Business report.
America's biggest banks hit with some big bills. 10 of our largest financial institutions agreeing to pay an $8.5 million settlement in some wrongful home foreclosure cases. And in a separate deal, Bank of America shelling out around $10 billion to deal with disputed loans it has with bailed-out mortgage provider Fannie Mae. Meantime, Apple users are chowing down on apps, and how. The company saying more than 40 billion apps have now been downloaded on its tablet and mobile devices. December alone seeing a record 2 billion downloads. And baking your way to a lot of dough. Pillsbury is now accepting entries for its annual bake-off contest, the final cook-off, which takes place in November, with the person cooking up the winning dish taking home $1 million. And hot, and you're in. Pizza Hut kicking off a new contest that could make you a big star in the big game. The pizza chain now accepting personal videos for a chance to be in a Super Bowl commercial. The catch? Well, you got to tape yourself saying that hot thing in the video. Have at it. Good luck. That's business. I'm Neil Cavuto.
The annual model train show is this weekend in Fort Worth, and thousands of people are expected to attend the big event featuring the tiny trains. All sorts of model trains are on display, ranging from long tracks up to 400 feet to tiny little ones 1/900th scale.
We've been doing this for 15 years now. The group started in 1998. It was a bunch of modelers in the Corpus area that wanted to get together and run trains. And this has been a continuous effort to improve it, to make it better for everybody, and to show it off to the public and let them enjoy some of the benefits of model railroading.
And you better hit the exhibition while you can, because the model train show ends on Sunday. Coming up in tonight's Medical Minute, why letting your baby cry it out may help them sleep better at night. The details are coming up next, so don't go away. Women who are obese at the start of their pregnancy could be passing on a health problem to their newborns: insufficient levels of vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, and in previous studies, scientists noticed that obese people tended to have lower levels of it in their blood. Northwestern University researchers studied more than 60 lean and obese moms. While both types of women had similar levels of vitamin D in their blood, the obese mothers transferred less of this nutrient to their babies. And what parent hasn't suffered a lack of sleep because their baby is crying? Experts offer this advice: let the baby fall back asleep on his own. In a study of more than 1,200 babies ranging from 6 months to 3 years, parents were asked about their child's waking up. Then researchers divided the kids into 2 groups: sleepers and transitional sleepers. By 6 months, nearly 2/3 of babies considered sleepers only woke up about once a week. A third woke up at least once a night, but grew out of the pattern as they got older. Experts warn that if parents interfere, babies may not learn how to self-soothe, a critical part of learning how to sleep on a regular schedule. Your sports on Fox is just ahead.
Midwestern State sports both the men's and women's Lone Star Conference Defensive Players of the Week. This week, we take a look at the men first as they posted big wins over Eastern New Mexico, Abilene Christian, and Angelo State. A big part of it, Corbin Thomas, who helped stop the opposition, holding them below 60 points per game and below 37% shooting from the field. As for the women, Andrea Carter, a big week for her as the Mustangs went 2-1. She averaged 12 points per game, averaged over 7 rebounds per game, 4 steals, and a block per game. Corbin Thomas and Andrea Carter, the Lone Star Conference Defensive Players of the Week. 2 more Holiday volleyball players signing letters of intent to play at the next level this morning. Kristen Anderson, a 5'10 outside hitter, and Kelsey Bedingfield, a 5'8 libero, both signing to play at Seward County Community College in Liberal, Kansas. Bedingfield averaged 24 digs a game for Holiday, being named district MVP as libero. Anderson, a 3-year letterman, receiving first-team all-district honors this year. The Texas Association of Basketball Coaches state rankings released today. Texoma well represented. On the boys' side, in Class 3A, Burkburnett ranked 7th. Hershey ranked 14th, and in Class 2A, the Holiday Eagles come in at number 7. In Class 1A Division 1, Olney is ranked 4th, Monday 20th, and in Division 2, the Throckmorton Greyhounds come in at number 21. In the girls' state rankings, 2 Texoma teams, 7th ranked Rider in Class 4A, and 22 ranked Bellevue in Class 1A Division 2. The Rangers Winter Caravan coming through Wichita Falls on January 15th, 4 o'clock. At Academy Sports. You can get some autographs. Dave Anderson, Justin Grimm, Michael Kirkman, Tanner Shepard, and Eric Nadell will make the visit as the names were released today by the Texas Rangers as to who will be coming to Wichita Falls for the Winter Caravan. That's going to do it for tonight's sports. David, back to you.
Thanks, Tobin. Skip's back with one last look at your forecast after this.
The Subway Fox Wake Up and Day Planner forecast. Lots of clouds continuing to thicken and lower as the day goes on. Rain chances picking up again, mainly starting in the afternoon, a little earlier in our southwestern counties. It looks like it could rain off and on with showers and maybe even some thunder through Thursday morning. Come on, rain.
Come on, rain. I'll bring my umbrella.
All right.
Thank you very much, Skip. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.